give you the warning. This is being recorded.
Yeah, recording in progress. Okay, cool. All right.
So, all right, man. Let's get the stupid stuff out the way
Yep.
first.
Okay.
The Steph Magic thing.
That's it's so dumb. That doesn't even make any sense, man.
Like, come on, man. Come on. Like, what are we really talking about here?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
know.
you call yourself a point guard because you're small?
Exactly. I mean, that's the whole thing, man. It didn't even make any sense. Magic's true point guard, get everybody involved. And
Yeah.
he didn't even evolve into a shooter until later in his career. You know, he was a true point guard.
Yeah.
Steph is a shooter, man. He's the GOAT shooter, it's no doubt. But
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue that one.
he
But
need to leave that point guard alone.
yeah.
Leave that alone. I mean,
Yeah.
I was thinking about that this morning. I'm like, man, Draymond is more a point guard
I
than
was about to
Steph.
say that. Yeah,
Yeah,
Draymond is the facilitator in that offense.
right.
I
He's the
mean,
one putting everybody.
even though they offense, they run a great offense, and
Mhm.
like the ball movement is what was beautiful about the offense. But yeah, man, no, you're not the point, man.
Right,
Go.
exactly. Stay home with that. So
Yeah,
you can't be like, it's me and Magic. That's it. No,
yeah. It's like,
no.
man, go, man.
That was some silliness, man.
Yeah, it's like no, just no,
Just
no.
leave that one alone. Stay home.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, man. So, dude, we got games tonight.
Yeah. Both of our teams playing too. So
Yeah, yeah. My boy's going early, so you're gonna see the projector flash in a minute. You,
yeah. I know y'all play Atlanta, but
yeah.
are you going have you heard, are you gonna play the starters as much?
They're supposed to get a series in.
Okay. Okay.
They're supposed to get a series in. So
So
I'm fine with that. Hey, it's looked entirely too good. It has me scared. The
well
starters
that's
have
the
looked too good.
yeah, I know that's what everybody's talking about. Because I heard that on NFL radio. They're like, man, the Steelers look great. So
It does. It was like this can't be right. This isn't that team. I mean, you expect improvement like from Pickett and knowing the offense and the receivers, but man,
well,
it looks ridiculous.
speaking of receivers, Pickens Pickens about to make that leap, man.
Yeah, I know. It's
It
gonna be
looks
stupid
stupid.
too.
Yeah, it looks
Can't
stupid.
wait. I
It's
can't wait. It's
Pickens
another
gonna
one.
make that leap, but we'll see, man. Y'all open with the Niners. I don't even want to talk about football anyway. You already know. So I'm
So
shying away from.
so I hope you put a large sum of money on the under for the Niners wins this season.
Oh, really? Okay, it's like that.
Niners ain't winning 10 games. Niners ain't winning 10 games.
Well, I know that you president of the Brock Purdy fan club, so
Yeah, that part. That part.
so
Yes. Garbage, man. And everybody's on that hype train. Oh, the Niners, man. The Niners are, I no,
no.
no. I
Well,
mean, you're
the
a
other
good team,
part of it
yes.
though, yeah, the other
Huh?
part of it though is the schedule, man. It's always schedule dependent too. I mean, are you guys playing the West this year, or are you just
Yeah. We got
so?
the West.
So that means they playing Cincinnati, Baltimore, Cleveland. That can be some L's right there. Just so that schedule, man. It doesn't, and plus they playing a first place schedule too. So
Mm-hmm.
they got to hit the first place teams in the NFC. That includes Philly. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
man.
you might be right.
Eh,
You might be right.
So that's where my money's at.
Ah,
Hey, so here's the thing. So they have a good team.
yeah,
They got a lot of great pieces.
yeah.
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But to be like championship worthy, your QB has to be able to do something. And oh, he had a great season. That run was all great, this and that. But we were finding out in the playoffs that no, no, it's not that.
Right,
And yeah, I mean, oh, he had a decent game against the Cowboys. I mean, 6 yards a pass. What are we doing?
right.
I
Well,
mean,
you know what we say about that, man. That's Shanahan, that's coaching. And I think there's three ways uh, for offense to shine. You scheme people open, you throw people open. So I mean, that's at least two. But you know what I mean. And I think Shanahan is basically a scheme guy, and so it's like if the league or when the league catches up to that scheme, then you got a quarterback that's not as athletic as
yeah, well, they'll catch up to the party and be like, okay, we see what this looks like. And
Mhm.
everyone's had a summer to look at what the 6 games in the regular season and 2 playoff games.
Right.
Yeah,
And it
which,
already was happening anyway. And
yeah,
and we already know. I mean, we know this quarterback, and that's a cycle, man. You can start high, but eventually the league is going to bring you down
yes,
a little bit, and then you got to make that adjustment after the league catches up to you.
Duck Hodges. That's what I got. Duck Hodges.
Yeah, yeah, you lived it. You lived it.
Yes.
So talking about football, man, I wanted to chat a little bit about this because living in Indy every year, Hall of Fame comes around. Andrew Luck is Andrew Luck a Hall of Famer? He's kind of the test case for what I'm about to talk about a little bit.
Ugh.
He just ended
I
his career abruptly. Actually, it was 4 or 5 years ago today, 5 years ago today, something like that. Ended his career abruptly, and every year since then it's been, is Andrew Luck a Hall of Famer? Now I'm not going to answer that question.
I I
I'm not going
am
to answer that. I'm not going to answer that. But I want
so
to talk about current guys in the league now. If they ended it today, I'm retired. They locks for the Hall of Fame. So you give me one, I'll give you the next. We just alternate. Who you got?
yes. So I mean we talked about this. So yes, Mahomes is going.
Yeah, Mahomes is done. That's done.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
he almost would have to have negative passing yard seasons to end that. But I mean, here's the thing, and I want to talk about Project Pat anyway, but 5 seasons, never played a road playoff game.
Okay.
That is dumb. That is ignorant. That's something we'll never see again. That's not going to
Yeah.
happen again.
Yeah, that's pretty ignorant. And it's not, I mean, yeah. And truthfully, if he didn't lose both tackles, he would
Right.
probably have 3 chips right now.
And if Brady wasn't around, he would have 4. So it's like,
Yeah, but
it's ridiculous.
like
So
that, yeah, that Super Bowl, yeah,
mhm.
like yeah, he was running for his life.
Running for his
And he
life,
was still
still trying to
making
make
plays, but he wasn't
plays.
getting any help, man.
Right.
Receivers dropping stuff, and it's like, I mean, I'm sure they was like, I can't believe he got the ball here, but
Exactly. Exactly. And it just, that Super Bowl was just one of those days. You don't hope it happens. But so you went with Pat. That's cool. I, I'm
Mhm.
a I'm gonna go on the defensive side of the ball. Uh, I'm gonna go ahead and name two because Aaron Donald, we already know. I mean, they
Yeah,
talk about Aaron Donald might be the greatest D lineman ever, which of course I'm gonna argue forever. But
yeah.
you
I
know,
am not going with
but he's
that, but
still he's
yeah, he's
still a
cold
lot.
with it.
But what you think about Von Miller?
So, like I said, man, I thought he had retired, but yeah, he was hurt, so I get it. But I think Von's in. He's in. I
Yeah,
mean, he
Super
puts up
Bowl
regular
MVP.
season numbers. He's got a Super Bowl MVP.
He got 2 rings.
Yeah, you
Von's
can't
in.
keep him out. Yeah, you can't keep him out.
Yeah.
He's got to go in. Uh, Here I got a curveball for you though.
Okay.
Justin Tucker.
Oh yeah. Okay. when you said there were people we didn't talk about, yeah, Justin Tucker's a lock. He's in. He's in. I
Yeah,
mean,
that
we don't
one
say
was like,
kickers, but yeah,
yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah.
in.
It's like, no, that dude's in.
Yeah, he's in.
Like, he's
He's
been
in.
ridiculous for a really long time,
He's in.
and more than any kicker that's in there. So,
Right.
yeah,
Now,
man.
now, of course, Rodgers. I mean, that goes without saying.
Yeah,
We don't have to spend any oxygen on that. But let's bring up one that some people might say is a lock, but we weren't too sure. What about Russell? Russell Wilson.
I think he'll get in, but
I'm saying if Russell Wilson called Sean Payton today and said, I'm done,
yeah.
is
See,
he
that's
in?
the part, man. There's a sour taste in that. It's like that ending, man. And
Mhm.
I know for most people, like it ends bad, but last year was, yeah, that was bad. I say he gets in
Yeah, yeah,
because everyone would be like, that's just the 1 year, and if anyone paid attention, it looked a whole lot better after Hackett was gone. So,
right, right. That's true. I
so
mean,
I mean,
I
they'll,
guess Russ is in. I was a hardliner at first and said there's only two QBs, but
yeah, yeah. uh, but he's going to get in. Whether it's first ballot or not, he's going to get in.
yeah, he's getting. You got anybody else? Hey,
What you trying to slide through like Cartman?
if she need to get something. So, you got anybody else you thinking?
uh,
You want to
so
talk about these QBs that people would argue that you say no?
no, no. I don't want to get upset. I don't. I don't want to hear about Josh Allen. I don't want to
Right,
hear about Burrow. I don't want to hear about. I definitely don't want to hear about Herbert. I don't want to hear
right.
about that. Like, and they putting all of them like in front of Lamar, and it's like, wait a minute, like, okay, Joe's Burrow's been to a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you can hold that, but like none of them have done what Lamar's done.
Nope.
But all of those names will come off first.
Right.
And I mean they may be putting Jalen in front of him now too, and I'm like, wait a minute, wait.
They
So
are putting Jalen in front of him.
yeah, and it's like, wait a
Lamar's
minute,
kind of in a prove it year, which is weird for somebody that just signed that extension. But
yeah, yeah, really though.
mm-hmm.
Uh, but I mean, if he's, yeah, I mean, as a Steelers fan, I saw what it looked like without Lamar, and
Right,
I was glad he was gone. It's
exactly.
like, yeah, your defense is decent, and but you're not gonna score more than 13 points. So,
Right.
so we're safe. Like,
Safe. Yep.
yeah,
Well, I will say the Colts helped make Lamar's legend with that Monday night
yeah,
comeback where he threw for like 1,000 yards and was about 40 for 40 in the second half. But
yeah.
that might be a slight exaggeration, but it felt like that. But
Well,
yeah,
get used to that, man.
get
I'm
used to that. No, man. Hey, I was trying not to talk about the Colts, but
I know,
the
man.
defensive side of the ball, I'm not really overly concerned about the defensive side of the ball. Um, obviously, I don't want to talk about Jonathan Taylor, and
Yeah.
obviously, I'm excited about Anthony Richardson. I know you have your thoughts on that, but you know,
Yes, yes. Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm looking forward to the year. We've been watching football forever, man, and we know how it goes. There'll be teams that are strong, and you're like, no, this is a great team. But how often do we see teams get through the season with all the key parts making
right,
it through the season? So we don't know who or what's going to happen to these teams in their key pieces,
right,
and that'll make it interesting.
or what game certain guys miss because certain
Yeah,
guys could miss winnable games. but then those become L's, and then what
L's.
happens at the
Yes.
end? So
Yeah, and then next thing you know, you got the great team that's the wild card, but it's
right,
in a bad spot, and you got to go face the team that's the bad matchup, and
right. And you know
you
what
know,
happens with that. Well, I didn't want to do this because I didn't really want to talk too much NFL, but let's just go division winners, man. Who you got in the AFC North?
and then North.
I know. Wait. Now I know I'm not gonna hear what you smiling. Who you got in the North?
When
Don't do
I
it.
initially wrote down my list, I did put down the Steelers, but
Okay.
I
Okay.
I am going to go with the Bengals
Right.
just for the fact that like Burrow, Chase, man, that's I
Right. You
mean,
can stop there, but there's
yeah.
more. You
But
got
yeah,
Higgins.
but wait, there's more.
Exactly. So you got Boyd, you got Mixon.
Yes, yes. It's just a lot of firepower. And
Exactly.
I don't know if we could keep up. I'll put it like that. I don't know if we can
Well,
keep up.
I I would agree if we talking about outscoring,
Yes.
unless Cincinnati gives you that week one game again where they just give the ball away.
Yes. Well,
Burrow
that's
on his
true
worst
too.
day. Yeah,
Hey man, and we've been doing that all preseason,
yeah.
taking the
Taking
ball
the ball.
away.
Yeah.
So
You got that
yeah,
guy. You got Minka. You got
yeah,
those.
that was great.
Yeah.
That was one of the greatest deals ever for the team. First round
Did you
pick for an all pro safety. That was a
did you
ball.
say deal or did you say steal? Which one?
Deal,
I couldn't.
deal, and deal. It was both. It was all the
That
above.
was y'all should be arrested for that one. Okay,
Yeah.
my AFC North. I did give you a sneak peek yesterday, and
Mhm.
you kind of frowned on me, but I think the Ravens gonna win it, man. I think the Ravens gonna win the North. I think it's a prove it year for Lamar. I think John Harbaugh, man, he doesn't get enough credit, just like Tomlin doesn't get enough credit for what they
Mhm.
do, the consistency that they have. I mean, you look at Cincinnati, how many coaches that Cincinnati had?
Yeah.
Cleveland is just unbelievable how many quarterbacks and coaches they've had. But you got Tomlin, who's only the third coach in the last, 65 years, something really crazy, ridiculous. And you got Harbaugh that's been around a lot longer than most people realize. So I think this is year
Yeah.
16, 15 or 16. So,
I think it's 15, but
right.
yeah,
So
it's the hated rival, man. It is what it
it's the
is.
hated rival, the bloodbath game for you guys, but I think the Ravens going to win it.
Mhm.
Okay, let's go AFC East. You got Rodgers, you got Miami, which I can't wait till the people hear your thoughts on Miami and particularly their head coach. Uh, you got the Bills and you got the Patriots. Who you got?
The Bills, man. The Bills are gonna
Bills.
win that division.
Bills. That's
They're
where I
gonna
am
win the
too.
division. The Jets made some moves, and that's all nice, but I mean, you gotta do it on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
see.
I think I agree with you on the Bills. AFC West. I'm skipping the South for a reason, but AFC
No,
West. That's a quick one. Kansas
Chiefs.
City.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's Chiefs. Yeah,
That's no
as
contest.
long as Mahomes doesn't get hurt, it'll be the Chiefs.
That's it. Keep
Everybody else can fall.
right.
Kelsey, you can lose Kelsey. You can lose. Yeah, but no,
You keep
Chiefs.
Mahomes healthy, you win the
Yes.
division. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now the AFC South. I think the AFC South is pretty straightforward too for most people. But who you got?
I am taking the Titans.
Oh my goodness, you can't take the Titans. Did you do that? Because I took the Ravens.
No,
You
no,
hate the
I did not.
Titans, man.
I did not
What in
get
the
the
world?
Rams to the Ravens. No, no, man,
So you
you we
believe in Tannehill, huh? And Vrabel.
of course not. But ain't this a contract year for him?
Right, right.
We know how this goes in contract years.
That's right
Mugs
here.
do stuff that they're not really capable of. It just happens.
It just
And you
happens.
still got Derrick Henry,
And you
and
still got the Titans' attitude and
yeah,
culture,
and
and
you
toughness.
got DeAndre Hopkins now.
Yeah, that was he's one of my locks, but I don't know how any wide receiver is going to get in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the line for that is like,
That's ignorant, but okay.
Yeah, so I'm going with Titans. I think
Okay.
Jacksonville's going to regress. I mean, they
Yes.
had the talent, but yeah, it was all fun with the last place schedule last year. We'll see what it looks like this year.
And you just brought up another point. The Titans don't have to play a first place schedule. Matter of fact, they're playing what a second. But I mean, the AFC South already has soft schedules. I mean, get the
Because
NFC
they have
South.
each other.
So, but I am picking. I am picking the Jags, which now I hate my AFC picks. I did go different than North because the same four teams. I think you switched up too, so the same four winners from last year is not going to happen. So
Yeah.
I am picking the Jags. I hate to pick the Jags. I will not pick the Titans. I refuse. The Texans aren't ready. My boys.
You ain't gotta worry about the Texans for a while, man. That's a mess down there. And that's more of a management issue than anything else.
Well, let's go to the NFC because here's where I am with the NFC. I think you got two really up in the air divisions. And the one that I think is up in the air the most is the NFC South. But let's talk about them later. What about the NFC North?
NFC North, that's ugly too, but I'm still picking Green Bay.
Okay. So you believe in Jordan Love a little bit.
So I think people are going to realize if you let a QB sit and learn it, then you can get the quarterback that you thought you were getting.
Right.
Not everybody's ready to do it day one. I mean, we're seeing that now with Trey Lance.
Right.
So, yeah, not everyone's ready to do it day one. But if you groom them,
right,
then yeah, I mean, some will get it quicker than others, but there's no reason to put him out there to fail immediately.
Got you. So,
but I think he's got it. I think it's clicked for him. I think he has it. Yeah, because I can't pick Minnesota, and I know Detroit's like the sexy pick, but you're still the Lions.
Right.
You are still the Lions.
Well, I'm usually anti the sexy pick because usually there's one team that everybody picks that's overrated and ends up 8-9. I think Detroit. I like Detroit's culture.
Yeah.
What they're building. I just don't know if they're going to put it all together. It's just hard to win when you're not used to winning. It just is.
Yeah.
Like Minnesota, I don't believe in them, but they know how to win. I mean, they're going to win ugly games. They won 13 games last year.
Yeah.
But my pick for the division is definitely not the Bears. I guess for me it would be the Vikings. So I guess I'm picking the Vikings.
Yeah.
NFC South. This is my surprise pick. I'm going with the Falcons. I think the Falcons are going to win the division.
Wow.
I like what they've done a little bit on the defensive side of the football. I think the Falcons are going to win that division.
Really?
I believe in the dirty South.
Really?
This year.
So is it Hankey's job? Whose job is it?
Well, that's a good question. I don't think it matters because you got insert game manager right there. Because if Mariota can, have you seen Mariota? I mean, I don't want to be down on too many people, but they were hovering around 500, 1 or 2 games below. He wasn't playing very well. I just think you insert game manager. It's kind of, I just feel like, process of elimination. I don't think the Bucks are very good, even though defensively they probably could get back to being good. I don't think the Panthers are ready yet.
You don't think Baker can have a Geno Smith type rebound season?
No. In a word, no. I didn't really believe in Baker all that much to begin with.
Yes.
And, you know, this guy, I just heard he's the first number one pick to start for 4 teams in his first, what, 5 or 6 seasons?
Yes.
I mean, this is it for Baker as a starter. He did win the job. He beat Trask out. Trask had the advantage. So give him credit for that. But I don't think Tampa, the only team, and you might be going there. I mean, the Saints, defensively, they're good.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is.
Carr's a game manager.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm going with Saints. I feel like their defense is better.
right.
Man, you know,
Yep.
you get Thomas back.
Yep.
You still got Kamara.
Yeah. Well, how long?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. But I mean, for now,
Yeah.
it all looks good on paper.
So I'm going with the Falcons. NFC West, we talked a little bit about it. You still think you said the Niners not going to win 10 games? Is 9 wins going to
Yeah,
be
I'm
enough to
picking the
win the division?
Seahawks to win the West.
You picking the
I'm picking the
Seahawks?
Seahawks to win the West.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you
man.
believe in Geno or you believe in Pete Carroll?
Pete.
Okay. All right.
Believe in Pete.
Yeah.
And I think Geno can have a similar season. I mean, if you look at his season, I mean, yeah, he was more short passes with the occasional big play.
Right.
And if you stick to that script, I think you'll be all right. I mean, they can run the ball with a Walker the third, whatnot. So I mean, yeah, yeah. I'm not a fan of San Fran. I'm not a fan of the quarterback situation. It's like, yeah, you're gonna put some respect on Garoppolo's name. He saved your season. I don't want to hear about Purdy and the cake schedule that he walked through.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
you didn't play. You played one top defense, but that top defense offense couldn't score. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
nothing had to be put on you. So it's very easy to be the game manager when you don't have anything to do.
Yeah.
But we saw in the Dallas game where some situations got a little hairy, and then I knew the Philly game was going to be ugly. I think
Yeah.
him getting hurt and leaving early was like a small blessing because it was about to be exposed.
Right.
It was about to be exposed bad. It's
Yep.
like, no, you ain't going to have all day to make decisions. You need to make decisions quick, and we're going to
Right.
see how you are.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got so like the decision making and whatnot, he should be decent at that. He had plenty of starts in college, and I'm big on that. He
you
had
are
plenty of starts in college, so he's seen a lot.
right.
But there's a reason why you lasted that long.
Yeah, there's a reason.
There's a reason, and it was about to be exposed.
Okay, I give you that one. I know it's gonna sound crazy, but I'm about to pick the Niners. I mean, I can't pick the Cardinals.
Well, no, yeah, you can't pick the Cardinals and Rams. No, no.
It's either.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm with the Niners. The other thing about it, I mean, well, first of all, if you listen to all the pundits, I mean, the Super Bowl was over. I mean, it's either the Niners or the Eagles versus the Chiefs, and a lot of people picking the Niners win. Niners have undeniable talent. Debo, even the other receiver, Ayuk, they get Kittle, they got toughness, love the defense, great identity, gritty team. So I'm must keep it with the Niners. But isn't Bosa holding out? Did he come in? Did he come back?
I don't know.
Okay.
All right. Well, that would be rare.
Right. So one division left, NFC East. Probably the easiest one to pick.
Yeah. The Eagles are loaded.
The Eagles are loaded. And then they messed around and got a rookie all-pro future Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be ignorant.
Yeah, that's one of those unfortunate things where it's like, all right, he's the problem child, and we let him fall to the team that really doesn't need him, but he's going to flourish with.
Exactly.
It's like
exactly.
I will be part of a rotation so I
Right.
can go all out every play I'm in. And yeah, yeah,
And that's
that
going to be a problem.
yes, for a whole lot of people, it's
I
yeah,
mean, this is Randy Moss all over again, but it's a defensive tackle. It's
yeah,
like how you let Moss get to the team that had the play calling genius and Chris Carter on the other side.
yeah, yeah.
That's just
Let's take this
history. The rest
ridiculous
is history.
let's take this ridiculous talent and pair it with a great situation.
Right. So I your early Super Bowl lean, you think the Eagles repeat out the NFC?
Everything tells me yes, but I'm going to say no, just because we've seen this.
Too many times.
We've been watching this forever, man. So it's
Right.
like we know, like the losing Super Bowl team doesn't go back.
And the
They
problem
usually,
is too, usually the losing Super Bowl team starts the season like 2-3, 3-4, or something. They're in a tailspin. Usually that Super Bowl hangover is real. So I don't know.
yeah. But I mean that it, it's a lot of talent, and it's nothing. I guess it's nothing complicated. It's very basic, and
Yeah.
it's like
They
we're
just
better
beating
than
up
you.
people on both
Yeah,
sides of
yeah,
the ball.
yeah, yeah. We're
That's
just
exactly what they're
better
doing.
than you.
They
Yeah,
got they got an offensive line that just beats people up. They got a defensive line that just beats people up.
yeah,
I do think if you're gonna get them, you're gonna get them with your offense versus their defense. I I think. I mean, you find a way to block those guys. I think you can make some hay.
yeah,
But finding
yeah.
a way to block those guys is going to be a problem.
And yeah,
The NFC though, I am going to say this, and then we can get off the football a little bit. The NFC, it seems kind of weak. I
yeah.
mean, you picked Green Bay. I reluctantly picked Minnesota. Now I picked Atlanta just a surprise. New Orleans, and then you're saying San Francisco not even going to win 10 games, and Seattle doesn't scare anybody. I
No,
mean, is the
but
challenger to the Eagles the Dallas Cowboys?
actually, yes, yes.
So
And that's about it. That's about it. But once again, man, we've seen this where it's like this is obvious.
right,
This is great. This is an obvious team, and something goes left, and it's like,
right,
what happened? What happened?
exactly. Well, I think there's some surprise teams. I don't know. We can talk about maybe them next time or next week, but I think there are some teams lurking that people need to be looking out for. So, but
Not the Giants.
no. I believe the Giants are going to finish in last place in the NFC East. That is an early prediction.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Karma has its ways.
yeah, I think so. But other than that, we'll see. So, you got anything else you want to delve into?
NBA. So yeah, man, the old 3 o'clock in the afternoon release on the schedule. Like, what is that, man? That I didn't know. I mean, we know NFL's king,
Right?
but NBA, I remember it being pretty popular. Like
It was.
a 3 o'clock schedule release.
Okay. This is the crazy thing about the NBA right now. LeBron James is arguably the most recognizable athlete on the planet with Steph. Well, I'm talking American sports. I'm not talking soccer. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm saying when you look at American sports, if you think about American sports, the first people that come to your mind are probably LeBron and Steph. Probably. You got a league that has those two leading the charge, and you're floating out a 3 o'clock schedule release. That was crazy, Rob. When you compare that to the NFL prime time,
Look, when
going up
you talk,
against NBA playoff games.
And like when you told me, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. Did you even know the schedule was out?
No, no. I was like, wait, what? And then of course I got a call from Nitra
Right.
because
Denver.
she's trying to go to the home opener, the rings and
Yep.
everything. And
Yep.
it was like, wait a minute, really? This
Yep.
really happened?
It
So
really
like
happened.
I haven't looked. I've told you my interest has been waning. It's like I've been a Hornets fan.
Mm-hmm.
MJ was like,
Right.
that's my guy. I didn't root for his team when he was a player, but that's my guy.
Right.
Like, all right, let's do this. Minority owner, let's go. And yeah, that's some mediocrity that's like humbling.
It is.
But I mean, now that he's gone, we
Right.
don't really have a team. Uh, interested in watching Houston,
Mm-hmm.
what Udoka does with that talent.
Right.
I feel like by default I should be a Pistons fan. Like,
The
we're
Fort
in Fort
Wayne
Wayne.
Pistons.
Yeah. My mom worked as owners.
Yeah, exactly.
By default, I should be a Pistons fan,
Right.
but I don't know. I'm going to be a very casual observer this year. It's just whatever tickles my fancy, and I'll hit the remote. I tried to do Charlotte games last year, man, and it hurt. It
Man.
really hurt. It's like,
What do you think about this whole James Harden calling the GM a liar and all that stuff?
well, you know what? He's probably not lying, but at the same time, he is walking himself out the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's walking himself out the door. Unless like NBA owners don't collude like NFL owners. But but
Let, let me ask you, which owner, which team should take a chance on James Harden and give him all that money? I mean, it's the same thing
but
that
that's
say
the
about
thing.
Kyrie,
That's the thing.
right?
I'm not giving you the money. Like,
Right.
no, you forget that. That no. That like what you have right now is the best you're gonna get from here on out. Like
Yeah.
it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. You were talking about leaving beforehand. I don't know why you didn't opt out. That
Right.
made absolutely no sense. Even if the general manager said, "Oh no, just take this and we'll trade you,"
Right.
like no, you should have opted out, and then you could have went wherever you wanted to go.
Speaking of that, I'm glad you said those exact words. Man, why are these players demanding trades and then saying, not only you got to trade me, get me to Miami? What kind of sense does that make?
Hey man, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's not gonna happen either.
James
I,
Harden,
I was,
get me to the
I,
Clippers. I only want
yeah,
to play for the Clippers.
yeah. Look, I was on the trade machine trying to do the Dame thing to Miami, man. It just didn't work. It just didn't work unless like Miami was ready to get rid of like Bam or something. And I
Yeah,
know they're not willing to do that. But
they're not
yeah, I
going to
was
get rid of Bam. They're
like,
not getting rid of Bam.
yeah.
Pat Riley will never find it in his heart to get rid of Hero. I don't care how many people tell him, go ahead and throw Hero in the deal.
So
Hero
like
is a
if you
Kentucky
don't include
guy.
Hero in the deal, there's absolutely no way that deal happens. Like no way.
I don't
No,
think Pat Riley gets rid of Hero.
no, nobody's interested in acquiring a bunch of undrafted free agents,
Right, exactly.
which is like 2/3 of their roster.
They got some dogs, but
Yeah,
nobody is doing that.
and
Not
that's
Bam.
fine. Like every team needs those.
Right.
Like I'm gonna give you effort. I may only have one skill, but I will give you that one skill. Uh, yeah, man, it's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. It's
You
yeah.
know what's crazy to me though, Rob? Just go back in the time machine. Kawhi hit the three that sent Philly home when they had Jimmy and
Mm-hmm.
Simmons and Harris and Embiid. What if Philly management would have said, "See you, Ben Simmons. We're going to invest in Jimmy."
You don't start that one. Don't man, man, do not start that. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. I man. Mm,
Well, I
mm.
think, of course, they say hindsight is 2020. It's probably 2010 now that You should have kept Jimmy.
But
Or even this,
we
what if they shipped Tobias and said, okay, we're gonna run this back with Ben, Jimmy, and B.
so first off, I think Jimmy was out because he saw what Ben Simmons was. He's like, no, I'm not doing that. Uh and yeah, as far as Ben Simmons, like the whole hindsight, it was like it was actually clear as day to us. And nobody wanted to believe it.
Right,
Like you put up pedestrian numbers at LSU when you
right,
are like clearly the most talented player on the court
mm-hmm.
pretty much every night.
Right,
I don't, yeah, every night. You was like the best player, like by far, like
right,
with your skill set. Like and it didn't even matter that you can't shoot.
right.
You can get to the hole. Anybody your size, you blow by. Anybody smaller than you, post up. Like you could have done whatever, and you put up what he averaged like 15 and 8.
It was ugly, man. You
Like
know, somebody that talented, you can't even get
yes,
your team to the tourney.
yeah. So it was like it was clear as day, but we were still in all like big, strong, and he could do
Right.
all this. I remember watching him play against Giannis the year before Giannis won MVP. And I went to
Yeah.
that game.
You were
And
sitting in the
like,
front row, wasn't you?
yeah, he was stronger than Giannis. And I'm just like, man, it was like at that time I was like, Giannis is gonna win MVP one day just
Mm-hmm.
because he has that in him. You could see it on the court
Right,
that he had that drive that he was gonna do that. And
right,
then it's like, but if this dude learns to shoot at all,
right.
man, but dude, this
I wish I would have taken you to the barbershop every time I went. Every time we talked about Ben Simmons with his contract was coming up, I'm like, how do you give this guy? How do you max out a guy that won't even work hard enough in the summer to come back and shoot a 15-footer? And
that's
that's what we did. That's what we're
all he
doing.
would have needed. Like elbows
Right, exactly.
all day, all
Yeah,
day. He would
all
have
day.
them all day.
Right.
And man, yeah. Oh.
I mean, it is what it is. I don't know at this point, what his career is. Every summer it's funny because every summer they show Ben Simmons shooting 25 footers, draining them in the empty gym, and then the season starts and the dude doesn't even shoot 10 footers. So
Yeah, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. But yeah, if Philly would have made if Philly could have I think they would have had to convince Jimmy to stay, first of all. But like if they could have pulled that off, then they would probably have a ring by now.
mm-hmm.
They would
Well,
have
I didn't realize how much of a dog Jimmy was, man. But this year it was like, man, you got to give Jimmy his, man.
so I I knew just from being up in the Chicago area when
Mm-hmm.
he was there,
Right,
it was just like he was working, man. He was working. And it's just work, work. And it should have been an example for like everybody. Like
right,
if you put in the work, you can max yourself out. I mean, because he came into that Bulls team
mm-hmm.
that Tibbs already had that hardcore working crew
Right.
with Noah and Dang and them,
And D
So
Rose is a
like,
worker.
yeah,
So
and it was like, so you see your best players doing that.
mm-hmm.
He saw that they bring him along. It's like, come get in this work, and he was just there, man. And yeah, man, when he left, they were like, you know, yeah, he's great, but I think we're getting more talent
Right.
back, with Levine and whatnot. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh man, there's some things you can't replace, no
You
matter
can't.
how talented someone is that you're bringing back. It's a whole attitude. It's a whole what you call it. I mean, he's basically been willing Miami to the finals.
Right.
That team should be in the finals. Shouldn't have been in the finals a couple years ago. Shouldn't have been in the finals last year.
That
That's
team beat Milwaukee in 2 postseasons, man.
yes.
They beat Milwaukee last season 4-1. It wasn't even like it didn't even go
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
This dude, gentleman, swept a team that won the championship 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Then messed around with Boston, dominated in Boston, got caught 3-3, lost in a heartbreaking fashion on your home court, went to game 7. Man,
Yes.
Rob, you know how we grew up.
Yeah.
Boston Garden, the old Garden,
Yeah.
game
Yeah. Yeah.
7. It's a
Like,
wrap. It's
yeah.
a wrap.
Supposed to be a wrap. Yeah.
It
But
was a wrap.
yeah, he went
Now,
in
this
there.
is
It's
not
like,
that team, but Miami dominated them. It wasn't even close, and that shouldn't happen. But I mean, it's just like the Minnesota Timberwolves story with Jimmy
yeah.
taking the second guys and beating up on the
Yeah.
starters. So he's a dog, man.
Yeah.
Jim buckets. But
Jimmy Buckets,
and,
dog.
and that's the thing is like when you watch him play, you wish other guys with quote unquote more talent play with that dog like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
But they just don't have it. But I guess if he was more talented or taller or could jump higher or whatever,
Yeah, he may
maybe
not
he
have.
wouldn't work like he
Yeah,
does. So.
maybe he wouldn't have. Yeah, that's true. But I don't know if he would have came in that same situation. I just think the situation he came in groomed him to be that. It's
Right,
like, no, this is what I mean. That Bulls team was winning 60 games.
right.
And
No business.
we saw
No
what it
business.
looked like when everybody went elsewhere.
Right.
I mean,
No
it was
business. That team never.
unfortunate for Derek,
Right,
his injuries, but
right.
yeah,
That team had no business doing what it did, but
yeah,
they were a hard-working lunch pail team, fun team to watch. But
yeah. They'll
they
get
had a
after it.
ceiling. They were capped. No way they was gonna beat LeBron. So, but
Yeah, I know. I think they would have had a healthy Derek the next year.
mm-hmm,
I mean, LeBron broke their heart in Chicago that year. I think
mm-hmm.
if Derek would have been healthy that whole next year, that
They,
man changed because Derek was he was something else.
yeah. But
Pre-injury,
LeBron's run in the East was just ridiculous. So
yeah, that's dumb.
I mean, he lost 2 series in the East that he shouldn't have lost. But I mean, when you look at his teams, like when they lost to
Yeah,
Orlando, when they lost to Boston, I mean, you could make an argument the other team had more talent than they didn't have LeBron, but they had more
yeah.
talent team. So definitely Boston had more talent. I mean, they had 4 guys that's probably gonna make the Hall of Fame. So so
Yeah, yeah,
3 guys already in, I think, right? Pierce
yeah,
is in already, right?
yeah.
So
But
Ray Allen's in, KG's in,
yeah,
Rondo's gonna get in,
I think
which is
yeah,
crazy.
it's basketball
It's
Hall of Fame.
crazy to think, but Rondo gonna get in.
It is a basketball Hall of Fame, so it's
The
like
Basketball Hall of Fame. But one last thing I'm gonna say about basketball. I mean, 30 years ago when we were around, could you imagine that Mitch Richmond would be in the Hall of Fame and Glenn Big Dog Robinson wouldn't and Penny wouldn't? I mean, in 1993, could I have told you Penny Hardaway, neither Penny nor Glenn Robinson was going to make the Hall of Fame? How much money do you think we could have won in 93? We said,
oh man, look, we might have enough to buy an NFL team.
mansions. Yeah. It's like, that's crazy. But I mean, that's part of that is the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And really, what's crazy about the Basketball Hall of Fame is for the men, it's the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. And for everybody else, it could be any other thing. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We
Yeah,
know
no,
that
that's crazy.
Football Hall of Fame, the NFL, Pro Football Hall of Fame, they do it the best. Baseball, I got a grudge against baseball till they let Bonds in. Bonds and Clemens, let them in. You turn the blind eye. You can't.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
all these people in the media, you know how skinny Barry Bonds used to be. Next thing you know, this dude is a literal RBI baseball fathead.
I know.
The RBI, the whole RBI game, and he's just working out. Okay, but Barry
Yeah.
Bonds, don't get me started on Barry Bonds. But I got to say this: the most ignorant seasons in the history of the game, probably besides Babe Ruth and maybe a Garrick season or something. Barry Bonds had them. I mean, more
No.
walks than hits. Just like seeing like one pitch a week, two pitches a week, and
Yeah.
connected every time you saw.
Yeah.
Those are fun times.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. But I mean, people like act like he didn't win MVPs before all that.
Right, that's true. I mean, he had what, 4 before?
He
3
had
or 4?
three. I think he had three with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, yeah. I know. And that's the argument too. I mean, Clemens won Cy Youngs before
Yeah.
he did his thing, but here's the thing. How do you tell the story of baseball without McGuire and Sosa and then the explosion of home runs in the
You can't. You can't. You unless you're telling the story about like how baseball will be dead.
right. Exactly. So I mean, we know it's just sad that the guys that really saved the game of baseball.
Yeah. Yeah. That would basically be like keeping Bird and Magic out the hall
Exactly.
because, you know, for whatever reason. It's like,
Right.
no, I mean, regardless of what happened, no, they saved the game. The strike in '94
Right.
pretty much killed your sport.
Right.
You the strike in no World Series. Like at that point, people were done,
Mm-hmm.
and this brought it back.
Exactly.
This brought it back and got people excited about the game again. But yeah, baseball, that whole thing. It's just like, man, come on now, come on.
Well, Rob, let me get up out of here, man. There's a lot of stuff I want to do with this podcast. I want us to do with this podcast. I mean, NFL season. I can't wait to do my FIFO for entertainment purposes only. Picks and me and you picking against each other and doing
Yeah,
football
yeah.
one and done or whatever. So I'm looking forward to this, man.
No, man, this is gonna be fun. I mean, because this is what we've been doing.
Right.
So yeah. So now it's time to let everyone else in the madness and yeah, do it, man. So nah, I'm all in, man. When you was like, let's do it, I'm like, yes, like yes,
Yeah, it didn't take long for you to reply. So,
yeah, yeah.
so I'm
It
looking
wasn't nothing
forward
to
to it.
think about. Just like, yeah, let's go.
Well,
But
we
yeah,
got
man.
let me get one more minute.
All right.
Hip hop is 50. Number one.
Yes.
Did you think when we were growing up that hip hop would get to 50 years?
You know what? No, there's one lyric in particular that has me thinking about this all the time. When KRS-One, and why is that? Is talking about like rap on a whole isn't even 20 years old. And it's
Right.
like, wow. But we're here at 50.
50.
Here at 50, man, and uh, yeah, I sort of feel like our parents who didn't like our music
Yeah.
with the modern hip hop music, but at the same time, I do understand that no, if you're gonna be around that long, it's gonna evolve.
Yep.
And I mean, it may not be for you, but I do love. I mean, in the 50 year is really bringing out all these old artists that we liked growing up. It's
Yeah.
like it's not like they can't still perform
Right.
or they can't rap anymore, but except DLC. But like we got AI for
PLC
that
had
now.
a reason,
Yeah,
but
yeah. But yeah, man, it's great, man. I can't wait till they finish the hip hop museum in New York.
mm-hmm.
I went and visited that The
Yeah.
first year they had it in the
Is that in Brooklyn?
it's in Bronx.
It's in the Bronx.
Bronx.
Boogie
Right
down.
now it's in just like a storefront, the Bronx International Market thing.
Right.
And man, like I literally cried when I walked out of there, man. It was just like just so happy and like, man, I remember this and learning new stuff. Like, man,
Yeah.
man.
It's something else, man, to think that something that most people just thought it was a fad. And I'm a bad mouth some of these radio stations around here. You know, we grew up in the Fort, but
Yeah.
Indianapolis, man, their black radio station used to say on the air, we play no rap. They used to say that on the air. And even when the early 90s hip hop really was still coming along.
Yeah, no.
But now, man, it's just so ingrained into the culture. It's almost comical.
Oh yeah, no, you can't get away from it. Like,
Yeah.
no, it's everywhere. Everybody's jumped in and got a piece of it and is using it. And yes, it's in everything. Like it's never going away because
So I think what we should do every week is maybe either talk about an artist or maybe rank some lyricists or whatever. Do something that talks a little bit about how hip hop shaped us, and so. But we'll do that later. So
all right.
All right, man. It's been good, and I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah, me too, man. Me
right.
too.
So,
all right, man. Take care, man. Till next week.
Till next week.
All right, man. Later.
All right. Later.